There's nothing worse than toothache. It's one of the main reasons you want to visit a 24-hour dentist, as it's one of those pains that just won't go away. In fact, it's going to get worse over time. The main reason you're suffering a toothache is a dental cavity. This is where bacteria in the mouth has built up to such an extent it's managed to form holes into your tooth. Now it's through this hole that the majority of the pain starts to form. The hole initially starts in the enamel and works its way into the center of the tooth, working its way through until ultimately it reaches the core of the tooth, which is where the main blood goes into the tooth, but the worst case scenario is the actual nerves are there as well. And what the plaque has done, it's formed a hole all the way through the tooth to your nerves. And that's where you're getting the pain. You can imagine that as soon as you have a hot cup of tea or a cold piece of ice cream, that material goes straight through that hole and contacts the nerve directly, which is normally protected by the thick wall of the tooth. And to varying degrees of depth of the cavity can determine the pain level. Once that hole has formed, there's little to nothing you can do directly to reduce that pain. And that is why you require a dentist. And if you're in a lot of pain, that's why you need a 24-hour dentist. Now, worst case scenario, because you've got that hole in your tooth, what can happen is pus can start to fill and bacteria can start to form in the protection of that hole. And that starts to form an abscess within the tooth and below the gum line. And when that starts to happen, that's what happens, that's when you feel intense pain. Now, the main things you can do at this point is to see a dentist. What they can do is they can look at your teeth, identify where the hole is, and then look to see if there's a problem within it, if you've got pus buildup, and if there's an even bigger problem inside. And what they can do is they can clean out that tooth and put a filling on it. By applying that denture cement, that filling into the hole and over the top of it, they're basically replacing the tooth enamel effect that was on your tooth in the first place and will protect it. Now, the sooner you can get into the dentist to have this done, the less likely you are of getting severe pain further on. Now, whilst you're waiting to see the dentist, the best thing you can do is try and relieve the pain. Now, there's a few options you can try from home before you get in to see that dentist, and that's one is to try and use a ice pack or a cold compress on the side of your face. It just reduces the swelling and takes the pressure off the tooth a bit. Another thing that we've been recommended is the use of clove oil. Rubbed into the tooth and the gum line, this acts as a natural numbing agent that will also help to reduce the pain. And of course, there's normal over-the-counter painkillers just to take the edge off. But unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do to stop the pain altogether. And we strongly suggest you get into the nearest dentist or contact a 24-hour dentist as soon as possible.